When I've talked about confidence, I'm always talking about challenging yourself, stepping out of your comfort zone. One way to do that is to strive for excellence, not perfection, because that's impossible, really. We are human. But it's striving for excellence in everything you do. And I have done that my entire career life since I got out of high school, and I started working at 19. So over my 20 years as being an executive assistant, I was always striving to be the best I could be, to do the best job that I could do, to really reach for the stars. And of course, there were days that I didn't always feel that way. You know, I was married, I had children, I was working a lot of hours, and were days I just didn't have it in me, but it was the attitude. And then when I started Office Dynamics in 1990, of course, that became our whole theme. The umbrella over everything that we teach is about inspiring excellence in administrative assistance. And so it's keeping that bar high, always raising the bar. And so there's a lot of interesting lessons in this one. If you have a visual, let's pretend this is the bar. So if I say this is my bar for where I want to strive to be in my work and in my career, even me as a trainer, as a speaker, guess what? That's as high as I'll go. That's how your subconscious works. What if I put my bar up here? Do you see I'm going to challenge myself to strive to be up here in all that I do? So how do you demonstrate excellence in the workplace as an assistant? Well, one thing, it's paying attention to details, okay? Don't be in such a hurry that you're missing things, that you're not dotting your I's and crossing your T's. When I look at the star performing assistants, that's what they do. They look at every little detail. They take the time to perfect what they're doing. Now, they don't always have the time, but it's their attitude about it. And so what I'd like you to do, if you want to build your confidence, is to challenge yourself to raise the bar. First of all, most people in the world do not have a high bar. In fact, we have lowered the bar over the years. Personal story. I'll never, ever forget this. Years ago, I was hired by Sands Resorts to come in and do training, my world-class assistant program, to their assistants. It was wonderful because I got to go to the resort and stay on property. But what stood out for me when the head of the university hired me, a gentleman, he had a lengthy conversation with me. And he said, the reason we're bringing you in because we need to raise the bar for our administrative professionals. He said, you know, the problem is over the years, the bar has gotten lowered and expectations. So therefore, the employees think where they're reaching for this bar, the bar's dropped. That's a big problem. And what he said, what we have to do, we've got to bring that bar up. Our assistants and employees we have to raise that bar again. We have to step up to excellence. And so look at our world today. How far down has the bar come? Because people got so comfortable through the pandemic. And again, comfortable with the hybrid environments or fully working remote. But let's get to you personally. Regardless of what the rest of the world does, regardless of what your executive expects of you, set your own bar high. Have high expectations for yourself. Don't settle for mediocrity. If you want to live a big life, that's what you have to do. But also, if you want to build your confidence, raise the bar, because when you raise the bar, you're going to have to learn new things. You're going to have to do things that are not comfortable. Also, you are going to have to do things that are not popular in the workplace. That's another part of building your confidence, is having courage to not follow the crowd at work because they're not always going in the right direction. So if you remember nothing of what I've said, just remember this: always reach for the stars.